Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining our diagnostic training session today. If you have any questions throughout the session, if you're joining us on Zoom, just look at the top of the bottom of your screen. Wherever your Zoom controls are, you should see a little button that says Q&A. Click on that. You can type in your question, hit submit, and I'll get to those at the end of the session. If you're watching on YouTube, just feel free to use the live chat function wherever it is on the screen of the device that you're using. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, if you would, please make sure you like and subscribe to the video. We've had a lot of new subscribers lately, so we appreciate that. But we also noticed that about 17% of the people that watch our videos are subscribed. The other 83% not subscribed. It doesn't cost you anything, and it also allows you to know next time we upload any content or go live with any of our live streams. So with that, my name is Jason Gabrinas. I'm one of Snap-on's National Diagnostic Technical Trainers. Been in the training department the last 10 years or so, traveling around North America, helping techs and shop owners get the most out of their diagnostic equipment. Before I did that, it was a couple years as a diagnostic sales rep with Snap-on. So about 30 different reps I worked with, as well as the shops that they serviced in order to help everyone get the most out of their diagnostic needs. Then before I did that, it was 8 years at Subaru. So I worked at a dealership, and over time, I guess, just became the default diag guy in the shop. So I always ended up with the drivability problems, the intermittent problems, the weird wiring problems that would show up on those cars. And that's really where I cut my diagnostic teeth, was trying to figure out all those weird head scratcher type problems that would come into my life. And before that, a bunch of other miscellaneous wrenching jobs. Been a little over 25 years under hood experience for me. Our topic today is power user functions part 2. So we did one a little while ago, maybe a year or two ago. We talked about some of the maybe not as common functions you may be aware of with your Snap-on tool. So we're going to go take it to another step, maybe talk about another thing that gets underutilized on the tool. Maybe you don't even realize the capability that is there if you have a Snap-on scan tool. So first off, we'll talk about the S button menu. I think that's going to be most of what we talk about, at least for the slides. And then we'll go on to the tool live, of course. So the S button menu. This is often underutilized, and it can be used for a lot of different things. We can program it to do certain tasks, or we can have it pop up a menu for us. Now, this came about, as I said, the end of last year. We did a little ask me, hey, what do you want to learn about? And one of the things that some of you decided you wanted to learn about was, I want to be able to share files with people. I want to be able to download them and share them. And, I see all the time in a lot of different Facebook diagnostics groups, and there'll be like the shaky cam picture of the screen. And maybe it's not in focus, or maybe it's not, it's missing important information on the screen that you would want to know to answer the person's question, things like that. So if we could just take a screenshot and then save it and then add it to my Facebook post, and that way, if I'm asking a question that way, that's going to help out everybody, you asking the question, and also anybody who's trying to answer the questions. That'd be a good way to do it. Or also getting the files off my tool and being able to share them with other people. Like say I had a scope pattern that showed something really cool. Actually, I saw one the other day on a Subaru group. Guy actually used a in-cylinder compression test, running compression test, and then they also had a pulse sensor on there. They were able to share, and you could see where each of the cylinders would fire, and then one of them, the pulse center coming out of the oil cap, actually made a separate pulse in there. So that showed that the car had a broken ringland without having to tear anything down. So I thought that was kind of cool, because we dealt with that a lot at Subaru. It was in the Subaru group too. And it was using a Snap-on scope. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, Windows-based tools operate a little bit differently than our other tools. So we'll walk through Windows-based tools first, and then we'll walk through the others. So on the Zeus, the original Zeus, or a Veris Edge, it's right there on the front, very easy to see. It's the Snap-on S right there. And then if you have a Zeus Plus, it's on the top. So we move the buttons to the top of the tool. So you'll have it right there, able to access easily. Now, when you press this S button, it's going to open a menu for the first time. When you go to the menu at the bottom, it's going to give you the shortcut menu slide. And then you can choose, what do I want this to do? When I press the button, do I want it to save a screenshot, for example? So if I wanted it to save a screenshot, you'll just click it. It'll take a quick snapshot of the screen. and then it uploads to the Snap-on cloud as well, as long as you have that connected. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But as long as you have it connected to Snap-on Cloud and your software is current, it will upload any screenshots off the tool for easy access later. You don't even need to use that ShopStream Connect software that we have, which is also still available. On the Windows-based tools, since they do have a camera on the back, we can turn on the camera by clicking on the yes button. And then all I would have to do is focus the camera on whatever I'm taking a picture of, in this case, a mass airflow sensor. And then I can simply tap photo on the screen and it'll take a picture. I can save it or delete it at that point. There's also a way to access the gallery so I can see other photos that I've taken. Also, these files, these photos upload to the Snap-on cloud as well. And then I can just exit out. Or I can say, well, I want the keyboard to pop up every time I press that. A lot of people have them in workstations now, so they don't really need it necessarily, but it is a good option to have in case I want to pop up the keyboard occasionally. Then there's brightness. If I want to be able to adjust the brightness of the screen, it'll just go up through, I think, 8 different steps to be able to change the brightness of the screen so I can see it better, say, outside or something like that. Now, the Zeus Plus still has that option, but boy, the screen's a whole lot brighter when you go through it, that's for sure. And then also we have the option for it to pop up this shortcut menu here where I could choose from any of those every single time I press the button. So that's one way to go about it. I usually set it to a screenshot because I'm usually just going to take a quick screenshot, building a presentation, something like that. So it's good. It saves it to the tool, also uploads it to the cloud. Non-Windows based tools, which the operating system on those we call SMX, is like a military grade operating system. On those, so that'd be like your Solus, your Apollo, your Triton, any of those series, Modus as well. Any of those series tools would be it's a little bit different because the S button's right on the face. So we press the S button, and then the way we program it's a little bit different. So when we press the button, it's going to do whatever's programmed to do. To get to where I want to program it, it's going to be in the Tools menu. So I want to click on that in Tools, and then it's going to come in here, and I can click on Configure Shortcut Key, and then it will tell you what it's configured to do. So right now on this screenshot, it's configured to brightness, but we can change it. So brightness is the first one, and that'll give you a chance to go up and down. Now you can't really capture it on video, but it'll change the brightness from 100, 0 to 100. We can also click on it and set it to save screen. So if I wanted to save a screenshot, we can do that. And then it will save. And when I click on it to save it, it will save it as a file to the tool. Also uploads to the Snap-on cloud if I have it set up, and also saves it to the tool. So that way, if I want to share it, I can. Next one again, I click on it again. Next one is Save Movie. Now this actually got asked for as a request for Windows-based tools. It's not in there yet. I have put in the request, whether or not, depends on how long it takes to get put through. But that's you can use that to actually save a road test. So as you're going down the road with an Apollo or Triton or whatever, you can hit Save Movie, and it'll save it for you automatically, which is kind of nice. We have other ways we can save it automatically, but if I don't have any PID triggers set up or anything, I just hit save and it'll save it. So there we go. And then the last, and then you hit it and it'll save. It saves as a scanner movie. Now the scanner movies don't upload to the cloud file size. Also the on any of the tools, the scope files don't upload either, just because of file size again. So screenshots, camera, and pre and post scans all get uploaded to the cloud, so you can share them. Last configuration is going to be setting it up for show the shortcut menu. So in that case, when I click on the S button, it will actually pop out a little menu, allows me to do brightness, save screen. Since in this case, we're not on a movie screen, we don't have the save movie option. And then there's also the pause option right there too. So you can set that S button up. And this S button has been on the tool since, goodness, I don't know. It's been a very long time. It may have started with I don't remember if we had it on the brick or not, but I know we had it on the Motive and the Solus. So it started at least way back round about 2000, 2002 or so. So it's been in there for a while. And those functions are, like I said, readily available for you. A lot of folks don't realize they're there. So I want to give a little exposure to that. So let's talk about a few things on the tool here. Let me switch this over there. Here, oops. There we go. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about actually is Snap-on Cloud. So as I said, the tool will sync with the cloud and all of that. Any of the screenshots, any of the recordings, things of that nature will sync with the cloud. So we're going to load it up here. Now, if you don't have a account with Snap-on Cloud, it's free, but you just have to go in there and create an individual account. Otherwise, you can just log in, which I'm going to do right now. Once you do that, you'll see any and all files that you have uploaded from any of your tools that have been registered with the cloud. Now, how do I know what tools have been registered? That's another thing you need to do first time, and that's going to be down here on the bottom right. It says profile. Click on that, and then it will give me a place to open Profile Manager. I'll log in there, same login. And so I'm already logged in, so we'll do that. It's going to give us our information, and then we can go to device management. Under device management, you'll see I have quite a few tools here. I'm not sure if that's my D9 or not, so we're going to have to take a look at that. So let me pop that up real quick. Okay. So I got my Apollo here. And in order to do this on any of our tools, you go into the settings menu there. Let me pop back there real quick. So you go into the tools menu, or on the Zeus, it's called something else, which we'll see in a second. But tools, and then we have a get connected screen right there. And it comes up, and there is the serial number and the PIN and the code. So you need to enter these numbers into the website. Now, on this tool, it's a little bit easier because you can't really get out of it anyways. But if you ever leave the screen, the PIN and the code regenerate. So if I hit the back button and then go back in, you'll see it's totally different number. So just be aware that anytime you leave the screen, it does regenerate. So you will need to figure that out, right? So you need to stay on that screen. So let me escape out of that and see. Yep, that is the, oh no, this is a different one. All right, so I'm going to add a second one. So we'll do 0, 1, 2, okay. Pin is that, code is okay. D9 HDMI, because it's got HDMI. All right, so there we are. We have it in the in my account now, right? And it shows the date that it was added. So a lot of these have been in here for since 2018. So 2023, right there. Also, if I needed to have any information for security link, we've gone through this before. We did a security link video a little bit earlier, but that's where you would go in to edit that as well. So that's right in with your device management. So the device does have to be in here in order for that to work. So just be aware of that. If you don't have any devices in your account, that's where you would need to go. All right, so I will go back to my files and we'll see how that works. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a quick screenshot on the Apollo. There we go. I took a screenshot. And so you can see we got a Mini Cooper, and these are all yesterday. I was building a case study on a Mini Cooper, which we'll see next week. By the way, we got new classes starting next week. Let's go into scanner, and let's just do a quick code scan on a demo vehicle 2. So we can see what that looks like. Okay. Oh, I don't want to add missing information. There we go. Okay, code scan saved. It's going to upload automatically. I want to go in here and I wanted to take any screenshots, for example, like say I was going to come in here and we got that, and we got TSBs coming. All right, come down here. Say I wanted to do like data. And I wanted to check my data and I wanted to get some feedback on it. You do a couple different things. Wait for that to load. So let's say I have my data here and I'm scrolling through it, and maybe I have something I want to look at like right there. So I'll take a quick screenshot, boom, saves it. I can also save the recording to the tool, which is accessible too. There goes my flag there. So we have all that information that we could send out, and then we could then share. Right. So let me go Oh, it's going back again. Okay. So all of these things at this point should be active, or at least everything but the saved recording should be up in my Snap-on Cloud. So let's see. So we got yesterday. There should be a couple new entries for today. All right, there we go. So that is a screenshot. Screenshots seem to load faster than just about anything else. So that's the screenshot I just took. If I want to, we can see down here at the bottom, we have all the vehicles particulars plus the code for the tool, serial number, and I can click on any of these here. So if I wanted to see all screenshots in here, click on that. Oh, no, that's to remove the tag. Never mind. I'm actually going to go up here and go to screenshot. The search box. There we go. So it's only screenshots. Or if I wanted to look up photos, I could look up photo. It's photo, right? Yeah. So there's any photos that may have been taken with one of the tools, right? So this is just a picture on a desk when I was doing a seminar, right? But there it is, and that's a photo. So we have all that information there. Also, thermal. To do thermal. Anything from the thermal camera will come up there on the tool. There's one of my cat that my wife took. So we got all that information. Also, any, let's say, ADOS reports are available as well. Oh, maybe not. No, there we go. ADOS recalibration reports, right after the fact. We can do that. But let's go back to that screenshot. So I got a screenshot, and let's say I wanted to share this on, say, Facebook, right? So I'll go to here, and I want to download it. And I'll just download it to my desktop. Let me make a new folder here for pics. All right, and we'll save it there. Okay, so now it's saved. Now I'm just going to log into Facebook. I should be under my page here. Yes, I am. All right. So let's say I wanted to go to my page right there. So let's say I wanted to go and I wanted to share a photo, right? So I can go in here and go into my photos, and then I'll go to find that photo I just saved, which is right here. And there we go. From tonight's class. There we go. And then I guess I have to have it as public, so we're just going to post it. That's fine. See if we can get some feedback on that. So there's a sample from tonight's class that we're doing, right? So that's available, and now people could go and they could comment on that and say, hey, you know, that you could say, well, what do you see here? Do you see anything odd? You can go in there and you can check, you can ask, because like I said, I see that all the time with the, hey, look at this scope pattern. Look at this, look at that. I should have, let me see if I have scope. I'll just look up scope. That'd be handy if you can. No scope results. Because it's a screenshot, I guess, right? So let's see. There's one. Oh, that's without it. There's one right there. CAN bus, right? So there's a scope on a CAN bus. Picture we took. So I can just say, hey, does this look right to you? Does this look normal to you? And then save it and share it. There's other ways we can share this too. So here's like a pre-scan, post-scan. I can go in here, and if I had this on my phone, I could text it via short message service, so SMS. Otherwise, I can also send it via email, since I don't have email on. Oh, I do have email set up on this one. So it'll send up an email right through my my email, whatever's set up for that. Or I can just copy the link to the clipboard, and then I can go paste it anywhere that I wanted to paste it there as well. Right. So lots of good sharing options through this free site. Like I said, you do have to make sure your tool is registered. And if it's not registered, just make sure it is, and then set that up, and it'll start uploading files. Let's refresh this and see if our PreScan came. It still didn't come in. Yeah, that's interesting. Let me flip back to my tool here. If I don't have that option, what else could I do? Well, I can go in here, and I can go to previous vehicles and data, and I can go into my saved data, all of it. In this case, showing the 50 newest files. And we have a bitmap file right there. There's my screenshot. If I go to the right-hand side, there's another screenshot I just took. There's another screenshot I just took. So my uploads, I can't do that while I'm in a scanner, though. I can exit view. Previous vehicles, showing 50 newest files. So like there's an example, there's a scanner movie, right? So I can go through and it can play it back. I can change it to graphs still. Forward to backward, zoom in. So I can still manipulate and take a look at my saved recordings from the tool itself. Here's another thing that just popped in my head too. I'm pretty sure we can still do this. Let me see. So there's my PreScan, right? Now I am not connected to a vehicle right now. This is I don't want to call it a bug, but we'll call it a feature that got added by mistake. Put it that way. And I think it's pretty useful, especially if I'm not connected to the car is gone, and I wanted to see what had Fast Track Intelligent Diagnostics told me about that car. So I can still go. This is a PreScan. I'm not in a car right now. You can see that I'm not connected in the scanner. I'm actually in previous vehicles. So I'm going to save data, and I can go to my data, and it's showing. So it's 50. Actually, let's go back even further. Let's go way back. There should be one like, here's one from October. I'm going to open this up from October. Still on the Chevy Tahoe, but I'm going to go in here. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to download whatever the Intelligent Diagnostics data was or is currently. Like I said, that is not a function that's supposed to be there, but it's I call it like a good glitch. It's really not supposed to be there, but you can use it sometimes in that case. Now it looks like we're not getting everything in here. Might not have loaded everything. So at least we can get access to the TSBs and we can get access to the screenshot. Smart data, of course, is not going to be because we're not hooked up to a vehicle. And I guess that's probably why the functional tests and resets aren't there either. But you can get some decent information just from that. Just from being able to look at that saved scan, and that's only on the non-Windows tools, by the way. So that's a keep that one to yourself. That one's a secret. I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about. I like it for that purpose, where I can see, what on a car I did like 3 months ago. Was there anything I missed? Right? The car comes back. I think that's pretty helpful, especially when you get comebacks, things like that. What else could I do? Well, we could also, let me get out of here. We could also open ShopStream Connect and connect the tool to it. Now, I don't have my USB cable hooked up, unfortunately, but I can show you what it looked like. Yeah, I don't think I do. Okay. So, for example, you would plug it in and it would show up as a separate hard drive on the deal here. It would show up as a separate hard drive, and you can go down and take a look at, say, like I wanted to look at my graphics. And I have a flyer. All right, so here's an old flyer, and I can just open that up and you can see it in there. All right, so any of these things are available. It's accessible from the tool as long as you connect the tool with the USB cord that comes with it. And then you actually need to go into connect to PC mode too, which I didn't show you that. So let's show you that. So if I needed to connect to PC, I would go into my tools over here. And then it simply says connect to PC up at the top. As long as my USB cord is plugged into the top of the tool, it'll go into connect to PC mode. Then it'll just show up as another hard drive on that screen there. Now, like I said, it's not hooked up, so I can't do that. So there's 2 different ways to do that, and that's ShopStream Connect. That's that free software I mentioned earlier as well. Okay, so that's on the non-Windows tool. What do we do on the Windows tools? Well, let's go over to my Zeus Plus, which is here. And that's going to be very similar, managing data. So it does upload to the Snap-on Cloud. We had a lot of those in there. There's no settings you really need to do, but if you go into system settings, that is where your get connected screen is. So you can go in there and see your serial number, PIN code, and activation code that you would need in order to set it up on the cloud. Now, under vehicle history, we have, pre and post scans and whatnot. So let's pull up this Tahoe. Anything I do on this Tahoe will get saved over here. So you see you got a vehicle system report. Now, the reason it doesn't do the little glitchy thing I talked about on the Windows tools is because they save them as PDFs. So you can't access it after the fact. So once it's saved as a PDF, and that's that. But like I said, kind of an interesting little feature. I don't know. But let's activate this vehicle and let's do a couple other things. So I'll go into scanner. And we'll do that, and we'll do that. And we'll do a code scan again. All right, so there's something there. That's a different code I have in there, by the way. It's not gonna really give us any information on that one. But hey, I have the information there. Let's go into scanner data instead. Let's go into the engine. Go into data. Load some data, hit save. So when I save it, it saves to the tool. If I go down at the bottom of the screen, there's a folder. And then you'll see there's my vehicle system reports I have. And then I have the Tahoe right here, which says PIDs. So this is my data. So when I open this data up, what I'm going to see is I'm going to see the actual scanner data viewer from ShopStream Connect that we were talking about a little earlier, that free software you can go in and you can check different files. So you can do custom data lists. You can tell it to do up to 16 PIDs on the screen at the same time in your custom list. On the complete list, you can rearrange stuff. So let's say I want to take this and move it down. I can do that. It's going to move everything over. I can just click and drag and drop, move everything around if I want to do so. So you can see like my mass airflow and my map sensors are next to each other now. Let's put the throttle position sensor up there too. There we go. So we can just move everything around, drag and drop. We could do this with the Apollo and the Triton and the Modus and the Solus as well. We just have to connect to PC mode in the ShopStream Connect as well. So many different ways of accessing the data, manipulating data, moving it around, reviewing the data, sharing data, which I think is the most important, so I can get that experience-based information from other people, which leads me to the end of my day today, but I will lead you to what we're going to talk about next week. So let me get the screen closed so I can tell you. All right, there we go. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about next week. All new classes start next week, by the way. All new classes, 5 new classes, as we do around here. So we're going to do 5 new classes, and the first one is the power of experience-based information. So I, as a person diagnosing a vehicle, sometimes I would like to know, what have other people done in the same exact situation? And we, as a company, have a lot of that type of information to allow you to filter through and see what have other techs actually done in this same exact scenario that I'm dealing with right now. And also, the more information we can throw at it, the better off we might be too. So if we can do like multiple codes or codes and symptoms, we're able to drill down a lot faster and a lot easier into what am I looking for? Because remember what I said earlier, and I'll say it again next week, is information fixes vehicles nowadays. We have to have that information. And one of those key components of that information is going to be experience-based information. I have a couple of real-world case studies that happened to me and other people as well. So we'll walk through that and see what some other people have done and see what can I do as a technician to go and try and get that information faster, easier than before. So follow me again, 6 and 9 Eastern. It's the same as always, every Tuesday, 6 and 9 Eastern. Go to snapon.com/OT if you want to sign up on Zoom. Otherwise, 6 p.m. Eastern goes to YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell. All the good things, helps the algorithm out, helps us out, be able to produce more content. Because if we look good to the boss, just saying, we want to say, hey, look at all these people that are subscribed to the channel. And hey, it's only going to benefit you anyways because it's free. Doesn't cost you anything. And it's free training. Everybody loves training, especially when it's free. So check it out there. Otherwise, 9 p.m. Eastern goes to Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, give me a follow over there. Facebook.com/SnapOnJason, all one word, no dash in the Snap-on. That'll be 9 p.m. And I'll be doing that again tonight. Also, if you want to see any of our prior videos in this series, right? So if I wanted to see, something on ADAS or data bus testing or component testing, basic electronics, all of these different things, are available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SnapOnDiagnostics, all for free. There is a playlist available for live training. There's these 57 episodes plus a couple other ones we've done for like P10 Magazine, things like that. So with that, let's get to questions and comments. I'm going to check over here on Zoom. If you did join a little late on Zoom and you do have a question, just find that Q&A button, type in your question there. Let's go over to first off, let me just mention my buddy Keith, actually. So here at Snap-on, we do a lot of free diagnostic training. 3 nights a week, soon to be 4 nights a week, but right now 3 nights a week. So Tuesday nights is me doing this. On Wednesday night, it is Zeus. Keith does that. And then on Thursday night, it is Apollo/Triton as a combo class. And there's one class a night, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, 4:30 Pacific. Keith has been with us for well over 30 years, came over to us from Sun. So he started off selling those big old Sun machines, right? So he's very knowledgeable when it comes to Snap-on tools and how to get through them and how to get the most out of your tools. So if you or someone you know wants more training on the tool that they already have or a tool that they're interested in getting, they can take a look at it live on his screen as well. So once again, Wednesday is Zeus, Thursday is Apollo and Triton. They're about 2 hours long with about a 5-minute break in the middle. First hour is going to be setup functions, scanner functions, walking through fast track intelligent diagnostics. And then after the 5-minute break, the second half is going to be scope and meter functions on the respective tools, whatever they happen to be. So if you want to sign up for that, he does it only on Zoom. And it is snapon.com/OT. It's kind of supposed to be like I have the tool in front of me and I'm following along with Keith as he does it on his screen type of thing. So it's a little smaller session. You know, you can ask questions if you need to, if you want to, get your questions answered from Keith. So definitely check that out as well. Questions. Looks like we're clear on Zoom. Let's go over to YouTube. Quinn, welcome as always. Thanks for joining us as you do every Tuesday. The Winton, hello as well. Joe Mikos, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Nick, as always, staying up late over there in the UK, but welcome as usual. Raymond, thanks for chiming in, saying hello, and thank you very much. And Joe says thank you and great presentation from Anthony No5. So thank you very much, everyone who chatted on YouTube. Hopefully you picked up a few little tips and tricks on how maybe utilize something in the tool that you haven't really utilized much in the past. Maybe you can add it to your workflow. Maybe you add it as hey, this is going to be something I'm going to share with my customer. Print it out, add it to your customer file. That Snap-on cloud service can be used from anything with a browser. My phone, my tablet, my laptop, PC or Mac, doesn't matter. As long as it has a web browser, it'll work. So that is pretty powerful as well, being able to share those screenshots and pre and post scans and things like that. So with that, thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day, spend a little bit of time with me. Hopefully, like I said, picked up a few little tips and tricks there. Hopefully you can join me next week for where we talk about the power of experience-based information. There we go. I was going to say user-based, same type of thing. Hey, Breed from Norway. I hope I'm not butchering your name there, but from Norway, thank you for watching there as well. Just timed in there on YouTube. So with that, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next Tuesday for our next class. Hopefully you'll join me then. Have a good night. Take care.